be having a look at Sandslash and Alolan Sandslash. Let's get into this immediately. Right, CR7, that's what both of them are. Sandslash has 17 armor class, which is pretty high, to be fair, because if you look over here, its highest that's actually defense, so I thought, do that. Hit points is 120, which is pretty normal for this point. Sandveil, and Sandrush haven't changed since Sandshrew. Still has +2 to AC while in the Sandstorm, and Sandrush means he has +5 to Initiative. I still do same with Sandshrew, which I mentioned in that video. I recommend using Sandslash in a desert in a sandstorm, just to make it, interesting. So he can burrow, he's got Sandveil active and Sandrush, and I think that's the way he's probably meant to be used. Then we have water susceptibility. For every gallon of water that Sandslash is exposed to, it takes 1 cold damage. And then, obviously, spines. This is not an ability on it, but just look at him. He's covered in spines. Why wouldn't he have them? If a creature makes contact with Sandslash or hits it with a melee attack, they take 1d8 with an average of 4 piercing damage with actions. Sandslash uses Slash 3 times. These have an average of 19 damage, so if all of them hit, that's going to be an average of 57 damage, which is pretty high, actually. But they're not all gonna hit, so, that's pretty high, genuinely. Then we have its big, interesting ability, Sandtomb. Sandslash uses claws to throw a mound of sand within 70 feet in a 10-foot radius. Any creature in range must succeed a DC 14 dexterity saving throw, or take 3d10, that's an average of 16 bludgeoning damage, and be knocked prone and restrained. A restrained creature can attempt to succeed a DC 14 strength saving throw at the end of their turn in order to free themselves at the end of their turn. They get freed if it succeeds. It's a pretty interesting ability, I'd say. It restrains them until they succeed the saving throw, really. And then it also has defense curl, which basically means it's got what is practically 19 armor class. And if you play it during a sandstorm, like you're meant to, which is like you should. If you want to make it more interesting, then play it during Sandstorm, because then it gives it literally 21 armor class, which is crazy strong. And now we have Alolan Sandslash. There's quite a few differences, so we're just going to go through these and just compare them as we go. Alolan Sandslash's AC is exactly 1 higher than regular Sandslash. Sandslash has 10 higher hit points than Alolan Sandslash. Their movements are the same. With the statistics, Alolan Sandslash has 16 strength, Sandslash has 19, Alolan Sandslash has 14 con. Oh, that's actually the same. The vulnerabilities resistances are different, and also is immune to being poisoned, because this is a steel type. But regarding the abilities, Alolan Sandslash does not have water susceptibility, which is pretty good. But it does have Snow Cloak and Slush Rush, which is basically just Sand Rush and Sandveil, but in a snowstorm. And again, I recommend playing this during a snowstorm. Then they have Spines, which is actually different to Sandslash's Spines, because these do 1d4 piercing damage plus 1 cold damage for an average of 3 while these do slightly more, but it's just piercing damage. Then we have Slash, which does an average of 17 damage per hit. And if you add all those together, 51 damage. Pretty high. Not as high as this one, but still pretty strong. And we have Icicle Spear, which is an entirely unique move. So if it hits, it will do an average. It will do 2d8 cold damage plus 1d6 piercing damage. In addition, any creature hit by this attack must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be paralyzed for 1 minute. Paralyzed creature must succeed a DC 15 Strength saving throw at the end of each of their turns. If they succeed, the paralysis ends. So if it hits, it's like, oh, okay, really not that much damage. But if they also fail the con save, then they're really in trouble. Fuck. And also Defense Curl, which basically gives him an effective AC of 20, and if you use it during a Sandstorm, 22 AC. What do I tell you? It's crazy strong. And that's it for this one. That's it for this one today, and I will see you in the next one with, I believe it's Nidoran female next time, and I'll see you for that.